Hello and welcome to the third of our Beacon broadcast TV lore streams. I am joined, as always, by my co-host of the BBTB Anchor, El Kubrick. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Great. And if anyone has, of course, as normal, any audio issues, let us know in chat, and we will try to get them resolved as quickly as possible. Believe we've got a relatively short show for today, but it'll still be filled with plenty of fun and exciting information to share, along with some discussions over upcoming deadlines and timetables.
It's been a news cycle of quality, not quantity, but that's okay. You don't need a packed schedule every time.
Absolutely not. So, with that, let's go ahead and get started here. So I believe if the teleprompter here is correct, we'll be starting with the Concord of Mutual Disdain, who have a audio clip coming out from their newest reports from their channel. Let's give it a listen. Maybe. Maybe it'll play. Is it gonna play? Oh, well, this is awkward. It didn't play. One moment, everyone. Technical difficulties.
The gremlins are at it again.
Breaking news from Kartkook. The Black Ocean Collective has announced the discovery of a new habitable planet in the Lynx system. Exploration has long been of interest to the species of the Concord, but this newest development is startling in that it is not an official move by the Mobu Nakar and Laquiva. In their announcement, the Black Ocean Collective stated that this is the first step in the search for the long-lost ocean worlds of the Queltal and Taret.
Well, we thank Concord for their update. It seems their exploration efforts are well underway, including the identification of new species on the planets they've most recently discovered.
New species and lost ocean worlds. It sounds like an exciting time to be part of the Concord of Mutual Disdain.
Oh, absolutely. The exploration, I'm sure, will be a up-and-coming sensation for their new and improved individuals. I believe they recently explored out in the Hexa 1410, if our notes are correct. Hopefully
A
they're
soon-to-be holiday destination.
hopefully so. Hopefully so. In the other news, I believe that we thank the Concord and Mutual Disdain for their most recent reports. I believe we have some information from Amelhart Institute up next, including they've recently revealed some new logos for their collective.
Their press team has been in touch with our branding agency to show off some of their latest symbology using a delta on top of a circlet of gold with spikes of what appears to be iron and white. It's striking symbology. It is representative of their surging forward of the exploratory nature of the Amelhart Institute, so named after a legendary explorer after all. Three variations of different color schemes to match any background.
Absolutely, they are quite striking and wonderful indeed, and we'll be looking forward to seeing the new iconology rolled out across the sector in all of their different locations. Hopefully,
Compliments to the artist, and whoever did that needs a raise. Amelhart Institute, I know you have caps on some of your staff fees, but perhaps they can be overlooked in this case.
I would second the call for that. And I believe our final faction report comes from the faction of the Aguamala Syndicate, who have been actively engaged in, I believe, they had some sort of operations going on the planet of Gome, according to our most recent reports. And it appears we have some new updates from our correspondents in the field there. Perhaps we should take a look at what they've discovered.
This studio is not entirely sure how we acquired this document. The source was anonymous. Just to describe, we've had to transcribe this from the original for legibility, but you should be able to see on your screens the transcribing and the description. The document is crumpled slightly, with one side bearing sharp printed characters, badging and color scheme, that of an informational brief from the Aguamala Syndicate. The message is mostly legible, a few of the characters having run together slightly, and reads as follows. Newly established by Aguijon forces, the forward operating station on Gome serves as a foothold for Syndicate interests on planet, as forces work to maintain the ongoing proceedings taking place between Syndicate-sponsored agents and representatives of a number of Gomese operations. Given the temporary designation of a forward operating base Delos, it has been established in the valley created by a number of intersecting peaks, a wall of natural ice serving as a defensive perimeter. Any personnel or civilians not authorized to approach the base are advised to avoid the area to avoid causing unnecessary tension for the ongoing syndicate negotiations. We here at BBTV would like to reiterate that advice to our readership and our watchership to do not approach the base without authorization. On the other side, across the other side is scrawled in some kind of ink or paint. It was thick enough that we could touch it, and it was a little sticky. And we don't know how long it was since it's been penned, but it seems to be some time. It is a deep crimson red color, and this anchor is concerned as to what that may indicate about the substance that was written in. The message reads as follows.
You know who we are. The hunters. Who's the prey? Get the picture? Our hunting grounds now. We're also told by our correspondents in the field that a serpentine symbol was also scrawled in that same thick strokes, familiar to many in the underworld, perhaps as the Cartel Aguamala. However, we reached out to the Aguamala Syndicate for comment and received none. So it is all rumor, and we cannot verify this correlation.
We will be looking to report more on this story as our deep investigative teams look into the underworld. We have a special report coming on that in some time. We will report back when we have more to tell you. But for now, stay safe, stay aware, save lives.
And hopefully the planet of Gome's transitions, however they may be, go quite well. Now, I believe that wraps up all of our faction reports for this stream, for this broadcast. Very short but informative information.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you. Anka,
Mm-hmm.
could you please check your teleprompter? We have a fresh report coming in.
Oh, do we? One moment. Oh, okay. I see. Let's take one moment as we bring you some of our latest breaking news. We're receiving reports that several of the terraforming machines have activated today across the planet of Telos in a surprise use of fuel from the Telos terraforming conglomerate. We were not apprised of that there was going to be an engine activation today, and we're waiting on word from our scientific advisors and reporters on the planet as to what's potentially going on. One moment, let's see if we can get them live from the planet. Right, yes, we'll take you live to our consultant in the scene.
Hello, studio.
Yes, I'm here in the TTGI headquarters, and there are a throng of people lined up at the doors here. They're being turned away by security as I speak. I could not approach the doors, even with my press credentials. This terraforming engine activation has not been on any official schedule. My own sources inside the board have no reports. They claim to not know that this was going to happen. The early information that we're getting from scientific readings and from locational imagery that the engines currently activated are the greenhouse effect engines from the initial landings over a millennia ago. These engines have not been fired in some time. We did not expect this today.
Well, thank you. Correspondent, yes, we're hearing that some of our consultants here in the studio are reporting that some of our long-range satellite imagery and operational knowledge is appearing some modifications to those emitters. Are you able to confirm that with any of your sources there?
Yes, hold on. We're being moved. Hold on. There's an official stepping out of the door of the boardroom, finally. Yep, they're saying that they have activated. It seems they've renamed the greenhouse effect engines to atmosphere acclimatizers.
Hmm.
He's reporting the goal is to remove corrosive and harmful gases from the atmosphere. They're releasing. They're going to be releasing details of a closed session vote. It sounds like. Uh, they're sending out the data packet. My assistant, John, send it. It should be sending it to the studio now.
We'll be refreshing our networks simultaneously here as we wait for it to arrive. Great, great. All right, I'm also hearing we have additional sources that are able to confirm that this engine activation comes as a direct result of a recent vote within the inner sanctum of the TTGI board. In a closed session, we're hearing that they have denied additional funding to exploratory expeditions and have instead opted to reuse that money on a domestic project. We'll be following this breaking news report as it develops throughout the day. I'm sure there will be plenty new information developing for us to report. This has been a breaking news on BBTV. Right. As indicated by our breaking news report, we actually have a spreadsheet update to make during the lore stream in
Dun
a
dun.
non-mechanical fashion, of course. It would be not polite of us to update a mechanical thing during the lore stream. But over here on our spreadsheet, we'll find the planet of Tellus, and we have a note from the most recent uh, faction turn that the terraforming clock progressed its way to 1 out of 12, and that has resulted in an update bringing our atmosphere here from the invasive level instead down to thick. So the planet of Tellus is slowly starting to change as terraforming wraps up on the planet, which will be quite exciting to see the final impacts of that on of what occurs.
The first tick of the terraforming clock and a relatively minor effect, but who knows how this is going to develop.
We'll have to keep word on our correspondents in the field to see what all they're able to dig up regarding the current trajectory of TTGI's plans. In the meantime, then, uh, Cal, do you have any additional stories for today?
That is all of the information that I have had reported to me this month. A relatively short stream, but we should have more for you next month.
Absolutely. I believe we'll be hopefully able to get some more information from factions. I know several of them had stuff in the works, but didn't feel as if it was quite ready to present. I've read some rumors that we'll be expecting some perhaps longer story pieces and
Hmm.
that are beginning to be put together, which is quite cool to see in progress. As lovely. It's always lovely to see faction logos as they continue to roll out and get finalized. So it was great to see a few of those on stream today. And of course, the lovely audio work by Concord of Mutual Disdain was quite great as well, even if I had technical difficulties in getting it to play.
We had gremlins in the studios, but that's always to be aware of when Lupus Calbrecht is around. Trips on cables all the time. Just ruins everything.
It does appear to be that way. And of course, we'll be continuing to follow the story of TTGI and the planet of Tellus as well the game progresses. Maybe
Yeah,
there's
keep an eye on the spreadsheet for whenever that terraforming clock advances. There's potentially large effects depending on choices made using the board mechanic that we've introduced. Hopefully, you'll all have fun engaging with that, and its counterpoint, the exploration versus home development theme in the game is quite cool so far.
yeah, and if there are mechanical related changes from progressing of the clock, it will, of course, as it very well should be announced in the Fashion Turn stream, but otherwise we'll be leaving the sort of lore-related only ones for the lore stream as they're more thematic here. And of course, the mechanical
Yep.
ones will get their story arc represented in this stream. Well, I believe that finishes everything up then, so we should probably go over upcoming deadlines and dates because those are always important and reminders never hurt.
Yes.
So if I take a look at the all-important schedule, we've decided to place the Faction Turn 3 on December 5th rather than placing it on November 28th because that was just a little bit too close to United States Thanksgiving, and even with everything going on in the world right now, it still seemed best to try to avoid the holidays, and I didn't quite have the flexibility to place the stream on another day as pretty much immediately after that is I have like finals on the early next week after the 28th, so pushing it back to the 5th worked better for me there. So Faction Turn 3 will be December 5th at 1 p.m. Eastern. So you need to make sure your turns are in by the 3rd and any trades are submitted by the 2nd. Understandably, we'll be getting close to several of holidays in December for obviously Christmas on the 25th, and then there's
Yep.
Hanukkah in there somewhere. Tentatively, I think we'll be looking at possibly the 19th of December for the next lore stream, but we'll of course get those dates finalized for you before, probably in this case before the faction turn, so that everyone's able to be prepared for the next stream.
Yep.
And
Hopefully before December.
yeah, and then the faction turn, we will run a faction turn. Again, we're not really strictly lining up with months, but we will run a faction turn for the, again, since we want to try to aim for 12 a year, so we will be running a faction turn over the December time period, but we'll make sure to avoid holidays. So be on the lookout for that date to be announced at the upcoming faction turn on the 5th, and more than likely it'll be either the first or second week of January, so that it'll be a little bit of a longer time for turns to be developed, but that way we can avoid the holidays and make sure to give everyone the time where you could just take a week off and not have to worry about anything because you have plenty of time after the holidays to still get everything developed and turned in. So that'll be the upcoming next month or so of Beacon Space here.
Yep. Short
Uh,
and sweet. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely not a problem. And I think that wraps things up, even with the short stream and all. But that's doing all right. Perhaps I should have some more free time before the next lore stream. Maybe I'll put together an introductory story arc for a few inside of the world. That sounds potentially like a
Yes.
fun thing to do.
We're looking to do some RPG content in future. Been developing in the background, slowed down because of school starting back up and everything going on in the world. But it is churning along, and if anyone has contributions or suggestions, feel free to make them in the Discord, which is linked in the top right if you wish to participate in our game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks everyone for joining us here today. I'll leave you with some fun sci-fi music tunes on the way out. And until the next lore stream and the next faction turn stream, this has been your Game Master, Lichmaster98, along with my co-anchor, El Calbrit. And we hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.